Welcome to the Four Wheels and a Hat podcast.
Well, hello there. You're listening to Four Wheels and a Hat podcast. Hello, Mike.
Hello, Grace. You okay?
Yes, very well. Now, Mike, we're doing something a bit different today, aren't we?
God, it's very technical.
Oh, it's very technical today. We're doing it Zoom. We're doing a lovely interview. And you know who we've got? Not in the studio, but on a Zoom.
I can see her on the screen, on the big screen.
Absolutely stunning, isn't she? She's beautiful. We've got Nicola from PREORGANISERMAMA.
Okay, cool.
And so she will be talking about her fantastic business that she set up, which is organising people's houses.
Okay. Oh, that sounds good.
Hello, Nicola. I'm saying hello on the screen, but I know that you're on the back here as well. Thank you so much for being so patient. Oh, absolute pleasure. It really is. Can I just ask you just about your business, how it began, and how did you get the inspiration to do this? What inspired you to set up this business?
Of course. So the business I've set up is predominantly aimed at busy mums and busy families. You know, as we're going on through life, things get a little bit overwhelming. You know, we're juggling work, we're juggling children, and, you know, we just have this mental to-do list that is just constantly there in our heads, particularly as mums. And, you know, something just needs to give. So I set this business up, particularly because of how I was feeling in my home, juggling two small children, and all of the things that we had. And so within the space of 6 months, I decluttered 50% of my home. So 50% of every category in my house is now gone. And I just felt so much better for it. And I knew that I could help other women that would possibly be feeling the same way that I was feeling, because clutter affects so many parts of our lives. You know, it affects our mental health, how stressed we feel. It affects the relationships we have with people around us, the people that we live with. You know, it makes us late. It affects our start to our day. It affects how we go to sleep if our bedroom is cluttered. So I just knew that this business was going to help so many people, and already it has in such a short space of time.
Yes. But, why do people clutter? Why do people, you know, get so many things that they don't actually need? Because we buy and buy and buy, don't we? We're like a nation now of just buying more things. Why is that?
Definitely. I think it has built over time. So if I think back to when I was a small child, my home didn't have the amount of stuff that it does now. Yes. You know, the things that children are exposed to, the things that as parents we feel that we should be buying our children all the time, particularly if you are on Instagram. There's so much influence around us of feeling like we need Easter baskets and Halloween boo baskets and Christmas Eve boxes, and before we know it, we're going into shops and it's there in our face as well. You know, there are offers, 3 for 2s when we walk in places. Even if we buy one thing online, they get our email, and then you're getting all of these emails coming through constantly of new offers, new products, and it's easy. You can click, you can tap, you can order on Amazon and things come the next day. So it's so easy now to clutter our homes. But not just that, it can be kind of circumstances that have led you to become cluttered as time has gone on. So it may just be that we just put things in a room or in a cupboard and we just close that door, and we just don't want to address things. Yeah.
Yes, because we've all got rooms like that. Mike, do you have a room like that?
Well, I've started putting things in boxes now with labels on in my garage.
See, that's really well organised.
And I also think if you haven't touched it for a year, you should just throw it all away.
Yes, no, I do that with clothes. If I haven't worn something, throw it away or just give it, you know, to a charity. But you actually, when you declutter people's houses, you actually take it away as well, don't you? Can you just explain, and can you just explain to people out there, because I just think it's fascinating. I want you to come around to mine. Nicola, you need to come around. It will be a task. It will be a task in one room. It will be a task. But I just want you...
people say that, People do always say, you know, you won't believe how much there is, or I'm sorry it's in this mess, or I'm so embarrassed. But again, it's normal. It is so normal. But the things that we see online, particularly on Instagram, perfect homes where there is no clutter, and so it is more normal than people think. But I take things away for you. So I can either book you a charity collection that comes at the end of my session in your home, or I can take those bags away with me. So either way, by the end of a paid session with me coming into your home, you're going to have all of those things taken for you. So my most recent one was 12 bin liners of stuff from one room, 12 bin liners, and that was, outgrown baby clothes. Yeah, absolutely. Toys, little ornaments, so many things that have just been pushed into a spare room that weren't needed. But it's not just about removing it all as well. It's actually about seeing what you do have. So when you do declutter, you might find, I've got sellotape, I've got stamps, I've got batteries. You find things in random drawers, and it stops you from overbuying.
Yes, it does, because that's what we do as well. We overbuy. I do that with lipsticks and with skincare that I don't actually need. I go into Boots and think, and then I go home and say, I've got that already. Why have I done that? But Nicola, can you just explain the experience? If someone hires you from start to finish, what actually happens? The whole experience. So you can
contact me. You can contact me either via Instagram or Facebook. You can just send me a message. My calendar is up on my Instagram page. So you can book a phone call with me first. That is actually a free thing to do. So a free 15-minute phone call where you can just tell me about the area of your home, or it may be multiple areas that you need some help with.
Yes.
Okay, so that's how it starts. That's the process. And by the end of that phone call, you want to feel confident that when I'm coming into your home, that I know exactly what area or areas we're going to tackle, and that we've got a good plan in place. And it gives me ideas and time to plan and make a strategy of what we're going to tackle, so you get the most out of your session. You pay a £40 deposit before I come, and then I come on the day at a time that suits you. We can do evenings if that's easier.
And is it a minimum? Is it a minimum of 2 hours as well?
That's correct. Yeah, it is a minimum of 2 hours. So that's something for like a wardrobe, for example, or an understairs cupboard. It might be if you have children, all of their drawers and their wardrobe all in one.
Yes.
If it's more of a room overhaul, it'd be a 4 hour or a 6 hour session where you really, go to town on a room. If your home is so cluttered, if you're thinking, I don't even know what room I would ask her to come and do, because that is quite common for people.
Yes.
You could book a 24-hour package, which comes with a 10% discount.
How much is that?
That is for a few sessions. So that's £240 for 6 hours. So be 4 times that.
Yes.
So it's around £1,000 mark, but you would get 10% off.
Yeah.
You would also pay in the instalments of the days that I would come. So you don't have to pay that big block all in one go. You pay for each day that I have been. And then when I come, again, I already know the plan. We know the area that we want to tackle. So
yes.
Come, you can carry on doing what you may need to do in your home. You may be working from home. You may have little children with you.
Yes.
I will move everything, categorise everything, call you back, for 10 or 15 minutes and say, here's my suggested donation pile, here's my suggested bin pile, and here's what I suggest that you keep. When I've done this before, particularly in people's wardrobes, I could find 40 pairs of jeans, I can find 50, and so having it all sorted into categories makes people realise, whoa, I didn't realise I actually owned this amount of things. In it in the categories, they can say, I only need 10 pairs of this, I only need 5 of those, or whatever. So I'm not taking up too much of your time. It is best for you to be there. It is better when someone is at home and there. But it's actually mainly me doing all of that hard work, and that's why it's so much more motivating.
Sounds great, doesn't it?
I want you around. What time can you come round tonight? I really need that. I looked in that spare room today, Mike. I just shut the door very quickly.
I want to know what's the most unusual thing you found, because you'd find something very unusual in my wardrobe.
Yeah. What is the most unusual thing?
Well,
she's going to tell us now.
Suggested on here. However, memories and things that are really important to people. I found, little baby scans or, things that belong to people that have passed, things like that have been randomly put down somewhere.
Yes.
And didn't realise that's where it was. So actually, it is so important to make space for those things. So maybe not so much unusual things, but things that are important, and we want to keep those. When you have someone come in to declutter, it's not about they're going to take all my stuff away, they're going to make me get rid of things I don't want to.
No.
It's actually looking after and preserving the things that we do love and cherish and making a space for them.
Yes. So how can people contact you? I'm going to put all your links on here as well. So Instagram, you've got a website.
And Facebook, website is being built at the moment. So this business only started at the beginning of this year. So yes, Instagram and Facebook, I'm on there daily. I'm always responding to messages and comments. So you can send me a message. You can check my calendar on Instagram as well in the link in the bio, and you can book a free phone call straight away on there.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, we're going to put all the links on here. And what I might do, actually, Nicola, I'm going to get you round to mine. And then what we can do, we could film that and then put that on. Yes.
Yeah, and that's it. The before and afters are so good. People really respond so well to those. They can see themselves in the before.
That would be amazing. So I'm going to challenge you for that spare room. So good luck on that. It's just a quickie today because of all this technical, and I think the time. Was it saying about time?
We've got about 10 minutes left.
We've got 10 minutes left. But what do people, when you've actually decluttered their room or cupboard, how do they feel after you've done that?
Yeah, it's a relief. It's such a sense of relief for people. You know, I've had comments like, I feel so much lighter now. I can breathe. People can't believe how much can be achieved in the time frame as well. You know, they're saying you're an absolute powerhouse. I can't believe how much you've got done. If I was to sit and try and do this myself, I would lose motivation. You know, you sit down halfway through, you have a little scroll on your phone,
yes.
and before you know it, the room is in chaos, and then you've got to be somewhere or pick your kids up and you think, where have I started this? So, yeah, the response has been brilliant to people that I've come into different rooms in their homes or their wardrobes or whatever, and the response is just always so positive.
Nicola,
you just cannot believe.
You are an inspiration.
I reckon it must help having somebody who doesn't know you as well do it.
Yes.
I think that's quite important.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Because if you're doing it with a family member, again, you could start bickering, or you could go down memory lane, and before you know it, you've sat on a piece of paper that was 20 years old and you're reminiscing and things. Having somebody come in and motivate you and say, right, do you really need this? Do you love it? Do you like it? Do you use it? Is it worth more than the space you are trying to gain?
Come on down, Nicola. You definitely need to come into my house. That's it. All right, Nicola, thank you so much for coming. Well, not for coming, but for being on the Zoom. I would love to have you in the studio as well, but I want you in my house as well. So we must do this again. And I will contact you to come in. Absolute pleasure. So anyone out there, if you need a declutterer, Nicola is your lady. She's absolutely fantastic. She really is. And she's going to do my spare room as well. Good luck on that, Nicola. Speak to you soon, my lovely. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the Four Wheels and a Hat podcast.